Hello, hello! Here's another video about how I made the game Orbit Crusher. And in this one we're gonna take a closer look at this comet here and talk about how it moves around in the game, and more specifically how the time-based logic works when we enter a level. Because right now, as you see, it just moves around in 2D space, bouncing around on these invisible walls, but as soon as we enter a level, it switches its state to more of a musical type, where it moves in sync with the music. And as soon as we exit, it goes back to sort of minding its own business. So how does that work? Well, if we take a closer look down here at the bottom, we have the music meter, and right now it's not active because we don't care about the rhythm of the game right now. But as soon as we enter a level, it starts ticking away. Let's take a look. Yeah, there it goes. So if we go into the tutorial level object, which is active right now, we can see that we have these three objects right here in the inspector. These represent the three different nodes or planets, and for each of these we put in values representing their rhythmic timing in relation to the music meter: 1, 4 and 7. So these are the timings that the comet has to try and reach. So we can count it out: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 4 and 7. And to be extra certain, we can see it stops here at the third one. We take a look. That is supposed to be 7. And down here we can see, yes, it is 7. So here we can see that they are indeed related to each other. And we can make it even more obvious by changing these to something a little bit more crazy. So let's see how that looks. It now says 1, 2, 3 instead of 1, 4 and 7. Whoa, so it moves very quickly in the beginning and then very slowly at the final one here. And the reason for this is that even though we decreased the values defining how fast the comet moves, the overall cycle is still the same length. It's 8 beats, so the comet still uses the same amount of time to do the whole cycle, but we can alter how that time is distributed. So with this system in place, we can go ahead and do some further customization of the comet movement using animation curves. So if we take a look at this one, this is the default curve that the comet uses, which is basically almost a straight curve. But just for fun, we can go ahead and activate this one, which looks a bit different. It still moves from the same planets to the same planets, but it has this sort of ramping up movement where it starts off slowly and then speeds up at the end, giving it a different feel to it almost. We also have this very weird movement where it moves very quickly in the beginning, takes sort of a break halfway, and then speeds up at the end again. So we can toggle between these and see how we can sort of give it different expression to its movement. So the last thing we're gonna take a look at is how the comet moves when it enters a level. Because when it's inside a level, it moves in these straight paths between fixed objects, but when it enters a level, it has a curved path. So it looks like this. And the way this works is that we have these invisible transition boxes that the comet tries to reach. So instead of moving from A to B, where A and B are fixed positions, here it's trying to move towards a moving destination, constantly updating its path every frame, giving it this curved, smooth transition. Where you can see it doesn't follow exactly this movement, but it tries to catch up with it. And how it does that is that the way we saw before, we have these animation curves. So the last point represents the position of the target, which is this box here. And the comet, over time, it slowly approaches the target and then in the end moves very quickly before finally reaching the target. And it doesn't matter where the comet is, because it's gonna figure out a way to catch up to the box. And we can check out some of the other levels, because then we can, using this, we can make these interesting introductions to each level, giving it a more smooth and organic feel to the movement, and making a very nice transition to a level. I think it was very fun to play around with these movement customizations. So if we go ahead and remove it, so this is how it actually looks in the game. We can't see that box. We can just see the comet doing this curved movement when transitioning to a level. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I had on the topic of comet movement. So I hope you found it interesting, enjoyed the video. See you around. Bye.